you'd rather drown yourself than play yet another mini-game compilation for Wii, then I really think you should check out Tenchu-Shadow-Assassins from Ubisoft, because here's a title that is developed specifically for the hardcore gamer, and it's actually a pretty good one. I'll get to the bulk of the review here in just a minute, but first I want to give a nod to Ubisoft for bringing first No More Heroes and now Tenchu to America. If you guys are listening and want to bring over Fragile 2, I'll be your best friend for the rest of my life. The Tenchu franchise has been around forever, going all the way back to the original PlayStation, and the first title was pretty innovative with those stealth mechanics. The rest of them, not so much. But the good news here is that the team, the one that worked on the original title, is also responsible for this Wii sequel, and as a result, the game really feels like a bit of a return to form for the series. With that being true, if you have played Tenchu before, you're going to recognize a lot of the faces and places from the series, as well as many of the gameplay mechanics that have powered it over the years. You once more play as Rikimaru and Ayami, two ninjas set to the backdrop of feudal Japan who serve Lord Goda and will do whatever he wants, whether that's protection or going out on missions and assassinating enemies. The story itself is compelling, and it's told well through a series of in-game cinematics complemented by really good voice acting and some amazing music. I know some Tenchu Elite would prefer the Japanese original voiceovers with subtitles, but it's not an issue for me because, like I said, the voice acting is well done, even if some of the guys are speaking with English accents. Meanwhile, the soundtrack is absolutely standout, worthy of purchasing separately if you can find it. The only downside is that many of these high-quality tracks repeat often through levels. Tenchu is a 10-level game, the first half of which is played by Rikimaru and the second half by Ayami. How quickly you can progress through these levels is all based on how much of a ninja you really are, because if you're seen by anybody, you're going to find yourself right back at the beginning of the stage doing everything over again. I think realistically everyone is going to get 10 plus hours out of the main missions, and on top of that you've got dozens of side quests, much easier, much quicker, that extend replay value. Let me just get what I don't like about Shadow Assassins right out of the way. First, the game clings to dated digital controls, which means that Rikimaru and Ayami move digitally. They can walk, they can run, but they can't do anything in between. Second, they move kinda like ninja tanks, not so much ninjas. Even comparing them to a game like Resident Evil 4, Leon S. Kennedy has them beat in the agility department. Third, and perhaps most offensive, is the fact that the game really doesn't use the Wii Remote that well. There are gesture-based kills, and they're satisfying, but they're not done as well as they are in a game like Deadly Creatures. And as you can see here, even aiming projectile weapons at enemies is done with the analog stick and not the Wii Remote's pointer, which makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. On the other hand though, the duel system in which you're fighting enemies in sword combat uses nothing but gestures, and it works pretty well, much better than it ever did in Red Steel. And finally, a couple minor quibbles. I would have preferred more variation in the stealth kills you can perform, and I would have liked to have taken my characters to the rooftops and the rafters a bit more than you do in this Wii sequel. But you know what? Despite all the issues I've mentioned, Tenchu is a whole lot of fun anyway. Despite being digital, the controls are never a distraction, they're actually very functional. The presentation is great. Shadow Assassins really does boast some of the better visuals I've seen on Nintendo's system from a third party. Take a look, for example, at this rainy environment in which the entire level lights up as lightning flashes in the background. It's really cool. And I really do love the stealth mechanics. Even if they aren't particularly innovative, they're still very enjoyable, a lot of fun. The game becomes very intense and very thrilling as Rikimaru or Ayami are crouching in the darkness waiting for a guard to run his pattern. They can use their ninja vision to spot exactly where he's looking, so they know exactly where to hide. Diving through a series of bushes under the enemy's nose, tiptoeing over rooftops and through rafters, hiding in barrels and waiting for the enemy, or even throwing projectiles at ninja from afar. You can do all of this, including sending ninja cats out to look for enemies, so that you know exactly where they wait, and then you can plan your attack accordingly. It's all great, engaging entertainment, topped off by these assassinations, which are really gruesome, but also satisfying. Shadow Assassins is definitely not a revolution either for the franchise or for the action stealth genre, but it is a damn fun game, especially for Wii owners looking for something different from the usual minigame compilations. For the full written review, check out ign.com.